Hey everyone, welcome back to the video. I hope you all are doing great. Now, if I had to ask you which stock from the stock market would you buy? Now, if the same question if I had to ask myself, I would tell maybe shares of Google. And if I again had to ask you, which Indian stock would you buy from the stock market? Again, I would say maybe Tata Motors. Now, the question is, have you ever seen these traders or stock market investor seeing the chart and investing? I used to always have this question in mind, how do they just see the graph, they invest in it, they make some analysis, wait for a period of time, and they sell the shares or the stocks and then they make the profit. I used to always wonder what are these techniques, what are these things, what they use, and these are called as technical analysis. And then further we go, I get to know that these technical analysis have even more parts, like you have different graphs and different patterns. I used to wonder how do they just learn these graph analysis and they just invest and they make those profits. And there are different type of graphs. There are candlestick graph, there is a head and shoulder graph, and there are many graphs. So in today's video, we will be learning the candlestick pattern or the candlestick graph. So the people who know what a candlestick is, well, great enough. But people who don't know, don't worry. I'll be teaching from the basics. I'll be telling what is a candlestick, how does a candlestick look like, what are the things in candlestick, what are the types in candlestick, or what are the means, like for example there's a morning star, there's an evening star. So totally about the candlestick you will be able to get to know. So without wasting more time, let's get straight to the video. So guys, I have created this simple presentation for you so that you guys can understand this technical analysis on candlestick in a much better way. So people who want this presentation, there will be a link in the description. Make sure to click the link and get this presentation downloaded so you guys can make a overview of the presentation, so how you can understand how this morning star or evening star is all about, and the types of candlestick in a much better way. So the link in the description. So now talking about technical analysis, there are different types of chart. So if you see, I've listed few chart right here. So there are few charts. Let me bring my mouse right here. So there is one chart called as the bar chart. So in bar chart you will just have the bars and it will show you an upward trend, or they'll be showing as a downward trend. The next we have something called as the candlestick chart, the one which we are going to discuss about. Now if you see, this is kind of like a bar but with lines, and there are different kind of bars. There is a green bar, there's a red bar. So you'll be able to understand it in much better in the next slide. But keeping it apart, we have another chart called as the mountain chart. So these mountain charts are helpful for another analysis pattern, that is the head and shoulder pattern. So there are many other mountain charts which are used for some analysis. So if you want the videos on those, I'll do make the videos on that. But today's video on the candlestick chart. Now talking about the candlestick chart, we need to understand what a candlestick is about, right? What is this green candlestick? What is this red candlestick? Now in a stock market or in the share market, we don't call it as a green or a red candlestick. We have given them a specific term. So what we call it as is, there are two separate words. So for the green candlestick, or for this green bar right now, for you to understand in the best way, we call it as the bullish candlestick. Now for the red candlestick, we call it as the bearish candlestick. Now why this bull bear coming into the play, you must be wondering, right? Well, there are some characters or animals which we have given in the stock market. So if you have to tell about the bulls, so the bulls are the ones who rise the market, who increase the price of the stock or the shares. Bears are the one who sell the shares, who pull down the market, who decrease the value of the market. So there's a fight between the bulls and the bears, and that's why the green is called as the bullish candlestick and the red is called as the bearish candlestick. Now keeping the bull and the bearish candlestick apart, let's talk about the body or the structure of this candlestick, right? Now if you see in the candlestick, there is these lines in the candlestick. So these define something. Now if you see the green candlestick, there's something called as the closing price, and the bottom has an opening price. Now what is this closing price, opening price? So in a stock market, there's a period of time where the stock market starts and the stock market stops, and there's particular period of time, maybe 1 minute, there might be 5 minutes, or maybe 3 minutes. So there's a particular period of time where it shows the opening price, and there's a point of time where it shows the closing price. Now if you see there's OOC 90, that means that opening price was maybe 90, and the closing price, or sorry, this is the opening price and this is the closing price was 90, and the opening price was 80, right? And if you see right here, the red candlestick, we have the opening price at the top and the closing price at the bottom. Now if you see in the green or the bullish candlestick, we have the closing price at the top and the opening price at the bottom. But this is the other way around, right? Where you can see opening price is at 90 and the closing price is at 80, right? So this line defines, and it goes, these lines, they just go above and above. If the price go higher, if it goes lower, it goes lower and lower. Now if you see, these are given a term. These are called as the wick or the wick of the candle or the candlestick, and this is called as the body of the candlestick. So this is how a candlestick is all about. Now if I have to tell you, if the opening price is at 100 and the closing price is at 120, which is that candlestick? Yes, it is the greenish or the bullish candlestick. Well, if I have to tell you the low price is 90 and the highest is 122, then it is a bearish candlestick. So this is how you make those difference, and this you can make from the trading tool which you use. Now talking about types of candlestick, there are different types of candlestick. So one of those types are a doji candle. So right now we are going to term it as a candle. Okay, now we are going to term it as a candle. So a doji candle is a bullish candle. First of all, it's a green, as bullish is green, and the opening price is at the bottom, closing price is at the top, and that's the same thing what's there in a bullish candlestick. And now if you see, this is a different candlestick from the previous slide. The candlestick right here is the body is quite huge, right? It's quite big. But what about this? Why is the body so low? Now this is a specific reason why this has happened. Now this happens, so in a simple way to understand is, the buyers are trying to buy or take up the shares, but the sellers start to pull and put those pressure, and because of this buy and sell of this again and again, there is that pressure over this body, and at last buyers somehow try to win the fight between the bears, or of the fight between the sellers and the buyers. So what happens is the buyers start buying, as if you see in the mouse, it goes low, and then the bears try to pull, and then again the buyers try to buy, and it stops at one point. So this is how a doji candle works. In a simple way, what we can say it as, nor does the bull win, nor does the bear win. So there's an equal tie, if you say, but it's not in the middle. If you see, if it's not in the middle, because it's if it is equal, it wouldn't be in the top, it would be a little down, right? But here what happens is, nor does the bear is winning, nor does the bull is winning, right? So next candlestick pattern is the hammer candle. Now for this, the bear tries to pull it down. Okay, the bear tries to pull it down, then the bulls try to pull it up and reach the closing price or the price. So what happens is, in this, the bears try to pull the shares, but later the bulls come and try to put it up, and by somehow they reach the closing price. So by the time they reach the closing price, the bears don't have the time to pull it back down. So here is a complete win for the bullish candlestick, or for the bullish or the buyers, right? The next we have is something called as a shooting star candlestick. Now in this, it's a bearish candlestick, and it's also red in color. So like the candle is red in color, obviously means that there's a win for the bears, right? So what happens is, the
reverse of what we saw in the hammer. So what happens is the bulls try to pull it, whereas the bears try to bring it down, and somehow the bears try to close it at the opening price. So what happens is there's not a win for the bulls, but there's a win for the bears. So this is how the doji candlestick, there's an equal tie. There's a win for the bulls and there's a win for the bears. So this is how it works in a candlestick. So either the bears try to bring it till the closing price, or the bulls try to bring it till the closing price, or the bears try to bring it to the opening price, making them in a closer fight. And if it does not work, it ends up at an equal point, which is our doji candlestick. Now next, moving on, we have something called as the morning star. Now what is this morning star all about, right? So by the name, the term morning star itself, you would have got to know. So morning means, rise or rise of the sun, right? When you tell morning, what do you understand from morning? The sunrise. So similarly, that's what is in the graph also. So when they say morning star, that means there is going to be a rise in the chart. Now how do you understand, or how do you get to know that it's a rise in the chart, right? How do you understand there's a rise in the graph? So the simple method of understanding is, there will be a bearish candlestick, that's the red candlestick. There will be a doji. Now the doji, which we spoke right here, an equal battle between the bears and the bulls. And when we have a doji, a green doji, especially a green doji, usually dojis will be in green, but if you have a red, I'll tell you what's the red gonna be also. But if it's a green doji and there's a green candlestick, that is the bullish candlestick, that means that the graph is going to increase. Now if you see my mouse, the graph will increase like this. It will keep on going until and unless there's an evening star occurring in the graph. So that's how it works. Now evening star, as you would have already got to know. So this is how it works. As I told you, there'll be a green candlestick, there will be a doji, but this will be a bearish doji, will be red in color, and there will be a red candlestick, a bearish candlestick, and there will be a downward trend. So it goes low and low and low, and finally it reaches at one point where it will again meet a morning star, and there will be an increase in the pattern. So this is how a morning star works. Morning, as the name says, the sunrise. Evening, as it says, the sun sets. So the sunrise and the sunset. So you can understand it in a much better way like that. So these were the types of candlestick what we had, the types of candlestick patterns: the doji candlestick, the hammer candlestick, the shooting star, the morning star what we known as, and the evening star. And this is what most of the traders use, the morning stars and evening stars. They zoom into the graph, they see what is it all about, and then they invest. So that is it for today's video, guys. I hope you liked today's video, the candlestick pattern video. I hope you got to know how this candlestick works, or this candlestick pattern works, how the stock market pattern or the graph works. If you did, do consider liking the video, do considering subscribing the channel also. And if you have any friends or anyone who's wanting to know how this basics of candlestick or how the stock market works, do share the videos with them. And do let me know in the comment section if you want such videos on technical analysis. For more parts, I will definitely do videos on that. As I told you, there is another chart which is called as the mountain chart, which we have the head and shoulder pattern. So you guys can expect another video on that. So definitely video on head and shoulder pattern, and many other videos if you want, do let me know in the comment section. And if you have not watched the video on how to make a stock market analysis robot or bot, I have done in the channel. Make sure to check out the video. I'll leave the link in the description, as well as the link of this presentation. If you want to have and make an analysis, or how to have an overview, there will be there in the link in the description. So that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you liked it. So till then, stay tuned for the upcoming videos. Happy coding. Take care. Peace out, guys. Bye.